also victim blamed people who get manipulated because they should just know better and stand their ground all the time. If you knew that all the time, no, you shared that you didn't. Do you think someone came up to you and said, yeah, dummy, you shouldn't have did that? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you doing? I hope you're having a great day today. So today I am reacting to the Rewired Soul again. This is a video I wanted to react to. I had asked if I should react to it in my last video because I saw there was a diagnosis in the actual title. I could get into why that bothers me. I think some of you can understand why it bothers me. So I was kind of teetering on whether or not I wanted to react to it because it is an older video. It's from 3 weeks ago. But then I had an interaction with someone on my last video and it kind of pushed me onto like, okay, let me watch this video to see what he had to say because I'm interested. I want to see what's going on. But before I even get into all of that, if you're new here, welcome. Hi, this is Journey to Find K and I'm Kay. I like to react to the Rewired Soul and I also react to Amberlynn Reid because they are two figures on this platform that speak about mental health and weight loss, and those are two topics that I definitely love talking about. And so today it's the Rewired Soul. I'm going to be reacting to Trisha Paytas versus Gabby DiMartino, borderline personality disorder, explained. And so if you're interested or if you like this video, definitely feel free to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and leave a comment down below and let me know any of your thoughts that you felt while you were watching this video. So let me finish rambling. Let me just jump in and see what he has to say about borderline personality disorder. Let's get into this video.
Oh, girl. Chris, what are you doing watching these drama channels? What do you mean? I'm watching some content over here, Maya. Yeah, but do you have any way to even turn this into a mental health topic? No, can't I just sit back and be entertained for 5 fucking minutes, Maya? Chris, I'm just looking out for you. I don't want you to turn into a drama zombie, all right? So knock it off. This is your last warning. Maya, I am a grown-ass man. I will do whatever I...
I guess.
What's up, everybody? This is Chris from the Rewired Soul, where we talk about the problem, but focus on the solution. And if you're new to my channel is about drama, but not about drama, because we only talk about drama if there's something that we can learn from it to see what we can do to improve our own mental and emotional well-being. So typically,
his description changes every time.
There's lessons to be learned about the successes as well as the mistakes.
Just
all right, so if you're into that stuff, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell.
Like,
or
what are you
Maya might come at you like she done did me. So,
I hate that.
Speaking of
Stop.
catfights, let's talk about Trisha Paytas and Gabby DiMartino. I honestly have had no idea who she is. I didn't realize there was many Gabbies, all right? But before we jump into this, those of you who are new to my channel, like, my videos are for you, okay? Like, everybody's just sitting around watching all the drama unfold. But here, we try to take this mess and turn it into a message. All right, so I want you to look at your own life and the arguments and fights that you get with your friends and everything like that. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about, the very first thing that I want to talk about is compassion. Okay, so my audience here at the Rewired Soul, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm gonna come at you like Dad Chris real quick. I'm not mad. I'm just a little bit disappointed. All right, like when we talk about different subjects and everything like that, like depending on who, you know, we might be using to give some context to what we're talking about, like the trash talking that goes on down in the comment section, right? Like the Amberlynn Reid video I did, like, I was like,
you contribute to it.
For me talking
you
about,
contribute
like,
to the trash talking.
And everybody.
You just try to frame it like you're not, but you contribute to it because the way you talk to people that go against you in your comments, come on now, pot calling the kettle black.
Guys, and they're like, screw Amberlynn Reid. Like, what are you people doing? What are you guys doing? Like, here's the thing. As a recovering drug addict, I try to forgive people. I try to hope for the best for people that they can learn and grow. Like, do people screw up? Of course. I screw up. You screw up. Some of us screw up more than others. But when it comes to Trisha Paytas, all right, is she a flawed human being? Yes. So am I. So are you.
I forgot to mention, I made a video about her calling her trash a few months ago, and I still stand by my words from that video because of events that came after that. But I will be honest and say that, and it'd be messed up if I didn't let y'all know this. I do have some compassion for her when it comes to the mental health part of it, because I understand. I know it's not easy when you have a mental illness trying to just, get to that baseline and feel okay. But that's like the extent of it. Like, it's not that deep. My compassion doesn't run very deep for her because you have resources. There's too many people. I see it too much in my own daily work life of low income clients out here just trying to make it and take care of their mental health. So come on now. But when it comes to living with a mental illness and trying to take care of any mental health disorder you have, there is compassion there for her, but very small.
Okay? But here is my best argument for showing a little bit of compassion. Okay? Because Trisha Paytas made a whole ass video about me eating a turkey sandwich in her car, ranting about me. And if you didn't see it, here's a little clip.
You just won't let anyone know, because again, these are all probably new subscribers that are watching your channel, keeping you sustained since all of the drama. You poked and prodded her. You messed with her. She's mentally, she has mental health concerns. That a lot of people, I'm not trying to say it's true or not, a lot of people worry. She shared a lot of times of her mental health struggles, and you kind of messed with her. So what did you expect? But you're not going to say that. You're just going to be like, I have compassion for her, and make it seem like she just went off on you. Tell the whole truth, sir.
From a drug addict, once an addict, always an addict. That is it. Coming from a drug addict who has a child, who's no longer with that person.
She's just,
I don't know the thing, but it's like, you have
and
a
it's
child.
so hard because it's like both of them just for different reasons, but it's both the way that they use like mental health or whatever. That's really like the core issues I have with both of these people, like Chris and Trisha. Like, sorry if you hear my partner, he's in the room, but with both of them, it's like, who's the lesser of evils? You have one woman who exploits her mental illness and acts a dang on fool on this platform to make views and money off of it. But then you have another one who shares and swears to goodness that his word is gold, and if you criticize him, it's wrong, and gives advice to people that are really trying to get the help and get educated, but who swears it's a different method. Like, you have two very problematic people when it comes to mental health. Who's the worst one? It's hard to explain. It's hard to figure out.
That mom, you have another girlfriend that's, you know what I'm saying? And he acts like his is so perfect. And like, just looking at him, he does judgments just by looking at our videos. And just by looking at his videos, not his physical appearance, just like looking at his videos and looking at him. And the way it's like, he looks tired, he looks worn out. Like, he acts like he's such an expert.
Because if I can have some compassion and forgiveness for Trisha Paytas, you can chill the hell out a little bit too. But also think about in the rest of your life, right? Like, are you holding on to resentments? Are you not forgiving other people? Like, I was taught a very long time ago, like, no matter how passionate I get or, when I get, upset about certain things, like, I don't hold on to anger. Okay, because I was taught a very long time ago. Holding on to resentments is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. It does absolutely nothing for us.
It's true.
All right? But anyways, in this video, we're going to be talking about borderline personality disorder, dealing with people who have borderline personality disorder.
Okay.
Because I swear to God, like,
5 minutes in,
all this stuff go down.
Almost 5 minutes.
And Trisha Paytas has publicly stated multiple times that she has borderline personality disorder. And this does not mean that she...
Has she? You guys let me know down in the comments if you watch her, pay attention to her. Like I said, I don't pay her no mind. But has she ever shared that she has borderline personality disorder? Is that something that she's put out there? Because I've always thought she said she doesn't have it. So definitely let me know.
The past. But if you understand BPD, you understand a little bit about what's going on. But the first thing that I want to talk about is this tweet from Gabby DiMartino. You want to talk about a mean girl? Trish did manipulate me into tweeting my apology because she knew I would do anything to get her to still like me. And while she's texting me everything's fine, she's continuing online because I guess this is what she does and likes. Like, listen, I have no idea how old Gabby DiMartino is, but she's verified on Twitter.
No,
and I'm guessing she's 18 plus. Like, Gabby DiMartino is a grown-ass woman. All right? But again, this is for you. Okay, so the other day I put up a poll on my community tab and said, how many of you struggle with standing up for yourself?
Can we stop with the most generic ass questions that is going to get the answer that you want to hear. Like, come on now. Do you really think you're not going to get a yes, an overwhelming amount of yeses from, like, come on, like, stop. Trying to make it seem like you're doing some deep diving. You're not, mm-mm. Let's just keep going. I can't.
It was
That's
over
so general.
70%. I think the last time I checked it, it was 73 or 75%. 75 or 73%, something around there, of people saying that they have problems standing up for themselves. Listen, I empathize with you. I used to be a people pleaser. I used to let people walk all over me and everything like that. But guess what? That was my problem, okay? Like, I couldn't go around playing victim and talk about how everybody's manipulating me because I don't know how to stand up for myself. Like, we need to take some responsibility for what's going on. Like, guess what? People don't manipulate me the way they used to because I learned how to stand up for myself. And no, it's not just this easy thing where you can flip a switch, right? But if you're like blaming your mom for manipulating you or your friends for peer pressuring you into going out, like, you are an adult. Okay? Like, do you think your boss cares if your friends manipulated you into a late night of drinking? Right? Like, do you think that's a valid excuse? No, it's not. You will get fired. Okay? So, my suggestion is start working on this. Start understanding.
Oh, so many things I could say. Let me see here. First off, there's plenty of times and there's plenty of really messed up people out there that are so narcissistic that they're able to manipulate people and you don't even realize you're being manipulated. Um, this is all contingent on whether or not you are aware that you're being manipulated by this person in order for you to set up that boundary. You know how many times people have sat here and possibly have gone to therapy and didn't realize that their husband used to manipulate them to do a certain type of thing all these years? Do you know there are plenty of situations where people are out there and do not realize they're being manipulated because of power dynamics, because of whatever the case is, which I believe is part of the issue. I'm not saying I don't know these women, I don't know their lives, I really don't. But what I'm saying is, I really think if I let me look up how many followers does Gabby have? What is her like subscriber account? She has a guesstimate because you know they be messing this up. 3.9 million subscribers. Trisha has last time I looked, she was at what? Four. She has 5. Um, there's yeah, it's the millions of subscribers, but that's still a power dynamic. Trisha has more. Trisha's been on YouTube more or longer. She's an OG. A lot of people genuinely like Trisha Paytas. So there could be a power struggle that's going in there that she didn't even realize. It's like, oh my God, I'm in all of you. You're awesome. So she takes her word as gold. Doesn't mean she sat there and said, hey, go ahead. I just want everyone to let me be a doormat. And I get it. Like you said, it's not easy. It's not something easily learned. But you also have to remember your type of advice of saying, hey, you got to put them, which I think you're trying to say, is putting them boundaries up and letting people know that, no, this is not what I'm going to let you do. All of that, this is what you need to do. That is all contingent on the fact that person even came to the realization that something isn't right here. Something's not adding up. I think I'm being used. I think I'm being manipulated. That's all contingent on that. If they don't know that's going on because say there's that person is such a smooth operator and is able to move it and get it done. And I've seen it happen so many times before my own eyes, even with my own friends. And again, and I just want to remind people too, being manipulative and doing that to somebody else is taking away their autonomy. That could be a form of abuse. That is in like domestic violence. That's also a part of domestic violence. Your man manipulates the wife to get them to do what they want to do. That could be a form of abuse. I'm not saying that's what this is. I'm just saying it's serious. Being manipulated by someone is very serious. Just because us as a society want to sit here and swear to goodness that no, nothing can change what you do with your body. You are always in control. That's not always the case. We know this with mental illnesses and other situations too, where we might not be in control of these type of situations. So let's not sit here and swear to goodness that everyone understands and knows that they're being manipulated and is able to just go ahead and start working on putting them boundaries up. They have to come to that awareness. Yes, I get that you're trying to use this as an example of this is what that type of manipulation looks like, but it really sounds like, hey, guess what? You messed up. You're just letting this person play with you. That's not an excuse when there are real situations out there where that is a valid excuse.
Why you have a problem standing up for yourself, right? Start understanding why you have a problem saying no, okay? Start to figure out why you apologize so much when you don't need to apologize, right? This is something that I still work on to this day, okay? But we do need to take responsibility for ourselves and quit blaming the rest of the world for what we do and our own flaws that we need to personally work on. And here's why that's such a big deal. If we keep
it is
blaming
also
the
a
rest
very,
of the
let's
world,
also talk about the people that are out here manipulating people. It's not just the people who are getting maniplated's fault that this is happening. The person who's manipulating you is trash. Is trash. This is a hard subject. You can't just sit here and say, because you can't stand up for yourselves, because in that you're just allowing these people to manipulate you, you got to work on that. How about let's also call out the people, hey, if you're a person who sits here and you kind of catch yourself manipulating other people because you're trash and you need to work on that. It's not just the person, the actual victim, the person who is being manipulated's fault. It becomes their fault once you become aware and you don't take the necessary steps to try to work on those behaviors to fix that. But it's not just a flaw. It's not something that you can just be like, oh, just come on, just get on up. You can do it. Yeah, it's not easy, but you need to handle that. No, the person who tried to manipulate you is trash too. It's not just you. You're not trash because you were manipulated. It's because, yes, maybe some boundaries were lapsed. Maybe there was some power dynamics at play. Maybe there was other situations at play. That doesn't make it your fault. You're not a horrible person. It's not something, or you can't. It's not an excuse. It is. Oh, you get it. You guys get it. You know what I'm saying.
We operate in our lives. We're never going to improve. Okay, so.
But I am saying, once you become aware and you understand and you get some coping mechanisms and tools, that's when personal responsibility comes to play.
Isn't normal after having such a lovely week together. Who I was with wasn't the person who was texting me. Imagine someone you admire sending texts like this to you. All right? So this is why people need to understand various forms of mental illness, such as borderline personality disorder, okay? Black and white thinking is
I am a very big believer that we should start just giving like little mental health classes or some type of curriculum in schools so that kids can understand what it looks like on other kids. The movie Inside Out, I don't know if you guys ever seen it. I have children, so you know. One of those things. Sometimes you just get stuck seeing the movies, but that movie is awesome because it helps kind of put words for kids who might not have understood their emotions, their feelings, and gave a little bit of insight to mental health, stuff like that. I think that is very important because I feel once those type of things get implemented in society, we won't have such backlash when we have people sharing their mental health experiences and trying to get a grasp and educated and understand what mental health looks like and how ever so changing it is. You know, I think that would be a great thing.
Of borderline personality disorder. Black and white thinking is actually something that a lot of us struggle with, but for people with BPD, it can be more extreme. Again, I am not excusing the behavior, okay? Because it takes therapy, it takes, in some cases it takes treatment, things like that. I'll talk more about that in a second. But when you understand it, you can have a little bit more empathy and have a little bit more compassion. So someone I would imagine like Gabby DiMartino has no idea, absolutely no idea what it's like to deal with somebody with BPD. Right? But you, the viewer, if you have somebody in your life who has BPD, understand that this is very common. And then you get to make the decision, are you going...
I hate this diagnosis. I do. I have my own personal reasons why I don't like it because that was a diagnosis that was going to be given to me at one point, but then I ended up actually being bipolar because that's borderline personality disorder for you. It is not, I'll get into that. Let me just see what he has to say.
Keep that person in your life, or are you going to accept it and learn how to deal with it? All right?
Okay. Learn how to deal with it. This is why I wanted to watch this video, because words mean things and words matter, especially when you're talking about a controversial diagnosis such as borderline personality disorder. People might not understand why it's controversial, but so let me give you just a really quick little reason why. Borderline personality disorder has been seen as something kind of like how would you say it? It has a very bad stigma attached to it. You think mental health has bad stigmas? Well, or mental health has it has a stigma of its own, the whole topic itself, but certain diagnoses have their own stigmas, and borderline personality is one of those because of the fact that it was predominantly diagnosed to women. Hi, I'm a woman, so you just heard I almost got diagnosed that. It was predominantly diagnosed to women, but also it was kind of a catch-all for you're acting this type of way, boom, let's give you borderline personality disorder because of women fanatics and all of that stuff. Um, give it to all these women, and then where's the men at though who have that diagnosis? I will let you know, I've worked with thousands of clients. Now, running into borderline personality disorder, I haven't seen a gang, like a lot. They're out there. But I personally, like, just from my own caseload, like when I was in the rehabs, the clients that came in and out of there, and even my current caseload now, if I look at my current caseload now, I have about 2 clients who might have borderline, maybe. I'm just guessing, maybe 2, could be 5, but not that many. When it comes down to like overall, I haven't had that many clients, but the majority of them are women. And I can say that I for sure can count how many men I've encountered with the diagnosis, and that's about one hand, 5 or less. That is the symptoms that are associated with borderline personality disorder, fit so many other mental health disorders. And that's just mental health disorders. Let's not add in any brain traumas that might have happened, traumatic brain injuries or anything like that. But just with mental illnesses themselves, mental diagnoses, it fits list of symptoms that you would have to, or criteria that you would have to meet, fit so many other diagnoses. Again, I will say I was almost given, well, I was actually given when I first went to my first appointment, it would have been a borderline personality disorder, but they were like, no, not strong enough yet. We'll give you bipolar. And then my psychiatrist, actually, who gives me my meds, he confirmed the bipolar when I had my evaluation, my psych evaluation. But it's something that, because of the way the symptoms are, I could have easily been given a borderline personality disorder, but I'm actually bipolar. And on top of it, because of the how it was diagnosed to women, to kind of, ooh, the frantic woman, her hysteria kind of thing, it's some of that still sticks. Hey guys, editing K here. I feel like I kind of left you hanging and didn't explain that part too well, and I'm trying to not misinform you guys. But I was basically saying that my situation could have gone either of 2 ways. I could have been diagnosed borderline personality disorder or bipolar disorder. The reason why that is an issue is because now I'm going to show some stuff on the screen that I got from NAMI.org, which is National Alliance of Mental Illness, and it's from their blog in October of 2017. It shows you that borderline personality disorder looks like many other disorders, and there's been a big issue of getting people properly diagnosed, because either they're not diagnosed at all because it represents or presents as like another mental illness, or they are diagnosed and they might have a different type of diagnosis. It might be the wrong diagnosis altogether. Another big part, as you see on the other side, is that it is very well known that it has a controversy of being considered sexist. 75% of women are diagnosed compared to the other percentage of men. And it's because a lot of the times women are looked at as emotional, women are looked at as hysterical. And so when they present certain types of characteristics, maybe they're mad about a boyfriend or did something that the therapist or their psychiatrist might have deemed a little cuckoo, you got borderline personality disorder. And so with my situation, I legit could have gone anyway. And that's why I wanted to show you guys, to kind of speak further as to why that is such an issue. So in most of my positions, rehab and mental health clinic, you hear the diagnosis of borderline personality disorder and you're like, oh, I don't, that's what you see. You see your colleagues go, oh, no, 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 or snicker, 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 like, oh, we're doing caseloads. I have a client, you hear how I said she, that's like that's the automatic statement right after that. I have a client, she's borderline personality. There is such a strong, almost discriminatory feeling towards that diagnosis. And so for you to jump on this platform and say, are you going to deal with it? It is a disorder. It is a disorder built on some bullcrap. that fit so many other disorders that you wouldn't say that to. You wouldn't even say that to someone who has high blood pressure or someone who had a heart attack. Are you going to deal with that? But you just said a little bit earlier in the actual clip or in the actual video, we should have empathy. If once you understand the diagnosis, you can have empathy and compassion. But now it's, do you want to deal with them? Because again, you're playing into the stigma, this idea that a person who is borderline personality or who has been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder is problematic, troublesome, a headache. You don't understand what you just said. Pushing negative stereotypes, pushing negative stigma, negative ideas of what you believe it means to be borderline personality because it was rooted in just trying to explain away. I can't. Let me know down in the comments if you guys get what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to stay composed, just because I don't like it. I really think back to how many times I've literally sat here and seen colleagues just be like, when they hear that diagnosis, and yet here we have someone trying to educate who says we want to have compassion and empathy, just be like, do you want to deal with that? Because you yourself are buying into those negative those negative stigmas that have been attached to that diagnosis.
These are the things that happen. So for those of you who don't fully understand what black and white thinking is, like, real brief description of it is it's when we categorize people into one of two categories. All right, they're either all good or all bad. So when Gabby DiMartino was like, I don't get it, we had such a lovely week together, and then all of a sudden I'm the worst person on earth. That's how black and white thinking works. There's no middle ground. But that's what I would ask you to look at in your life. Like, and this for me, because I've worked with literally thousands of clients who have had borderline personality disorder.
No.
And the way I'm able to empathize with people who have black and white thinking is to realize that I can have those tendencies too. I just had my therapy appointment yesterday, and she even brought up when I was talking about some stuff going on in my life, she's like, Chris, like, that sounds like black and white thinking. I'm like, oh, dang, girl, so you don't need BPD.
He literally said he said literally over a thousand clients that have been, no, don't believe it. It's a good number, but it's not that high. I don't believe it's that high. I've been in the field, come on now. As long as I've been in this field, I've had thousands of clients, and I would not even put it at 1,000. I wouldn't even put it at 100 clients having borderline personality disorder. And I dang on sure won't say more than 5 of them were men.
To have instances of black and white thinking, but this might help you empathize with people.
What he might have thought was borderline personality disorder, because again, you know, if it's so many different, the actual symptoms fit so many different mental illnesses, it could have been borderline personality, not borderline, it could have been borderline personality, DACA, it could have been bipolar disorder, could have been schizoaffective disorder. There's so many different diagnoses out there that it could be. Anxiety disorders, there's too many. So let's not just automatically, are we going to deal? I don't like that. Let's keep playing into these stigmas.
Who have borderline
supposed to be breaking the stigmas,
but,
educating
like I said,
to break these stigmas down.
Pass.
You're playing into one.
I know the different mental health issues that I struggle with, right? There's my addiction, there's my depression, there's my anxiety, you know, all these other things that I struggle with, right? But guess what? Those are my responsibilities. So if I make the conscious choice not to actively work on those things, like, nobody owes it to me to hang around me. All right. So when talking about this situation, like, Trisha Paytas has been going to therapy. In the H3 podcast, Trisha Paytas talked about how her therapist recommended DBT. DBT is dialectical behavioral therapy. This is a therapy that works wonders for people who have borderline personality disorder in most cases. All right. It is
I don't know about that. I know most of the times, most of the places that I've worked at, they've done CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy.
One recommended therapy for anybody struggling with BPD. All right. So to look at this from our perspective, right? Like, if you are the Gabby in this situation, you get to make the choice. All right. Are you willing to deal with that? Are you willing to put up with it? Right? Like, if you meet somebody, if you meet a new friend, or I don't know, maybe you go out on a date, and for some reason they tell you about their mental health, and they say, I have borderline personality disorder. Like, are you willing to deal with that? Can you deal with that? If not,
again, playing into a negative stereotype of, this is just pushing a stigma. Borderline personality disorder has enough of a stigma. You don't need to sit here and say, are you willing to deal with that? Really? Are we willing to deal with someone with high blood pressure? Are we willing to deal with someone with cancer? Are we willing to deal with someone? And then there are plenty of people that are like, nope, I would leave. But again, not everybody who has borderline personality disorder behaves like Trisha Paytas. In this video, you're talking about Trisha Paytas, who I believe is just a type of person. People who are watching you who don't know what borderline personality disorder looks like is going to associate that with Trisha Paytas. So now you've set forth a whole nother group of people who hear borderline personality disorder and are going to want to run the other way because they think it means something so bad. That's my problem with this video. You had it right with the symptoms. I don't like the fact that we're supposed to have empathy and all of this stuff and compassion, yet we got to worry about dealing with these people as if they're just such bad people if you have borderline personality disorder. Why are we pushing this stigma? You have to know about the borderline personality disorder stigma. If not, please look into it. But you know about it because you had a whole issue with it with Leafy Greens. She called you out about that before. This time you're not diagnosing someone because supposedly she says she's had it before. But now you're still pushing that negative stigma. I don't know why I would keep saying stereotype because it is as well. But the negative stigma on someone about borderline personality disorder, and you're associating it with Trisha Paytas, where a lot of people really don't like her. So now if they do, they know it's because she's a hot mess. And so now they go out there and they're learning, they feel like they're getting educated, and you just sat here and sent some more people to run out there and keep perpetuating it's a hot mess to be with someone who has borderline personality disorder. It's going to do this. It's going to be like this. They're going to act this way. Do I want to deal? You're going to just keep pushing that. And I don't like it, especially when it's the diagnosis itself is such an issue. Crazy woman. And now you're associating it with Trisha Paytas, who's known to act a fool. So now people who don't know anyone or don't have any understanding, who only maybe come to you for information about mental health, thinks that's what the poster child of borderline personality is Trisha Paytas.
You might want to keep it moving, all right? But be prepared for it. Now, if you're a Trisha in this situation, get help and work on it, okay? Like, we can go through all the therapy we want.
That's what I should do.
To all the therapy groups we want. But unless we are putting these techniques into action, right? Like, we're never going to improve, okay? Like, for example, like I said, my therapist points out these things to me. And then I have my beautiful girlfriend, Tristan, who can point these things out to me when my thinking gets a little bit screwy, all right? But our mental health is our responsibility. And once again, before I let you go, us being manipulated and us standing up to people is our responsibility. Nobody can...
No. If you end up getting manipulated, it's not your fault. It becomes, this again is my own personal opinion, but if you are being manipulated and you are unaware of the manipulation, it's not your fault. The second that you become aware and you get these coping skills to help you stand up for yourself, put up boundaries, all of that to help you become that stronger person to say no. Once you have those skills, that's when personal responsibility really takes place. Because the person who's manipulating you is trash and shouldn't be doing it. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's you. Oh, you should not. No. That person is trash for doing it. You might not even know that it was happening until it was too late or something bad happened. So now that you know, get educated, find some coping skills, work on those coping skills. And now, once you have that education and coping skills, now is when your personal responsibility comes to play. It's not your fault you got manipulated. Don't let this man make you think that. Oh.
Boundaries for us. You see
boundaries.
All right? But anyways, that's all I got for this video. And if you are in the Shane Dawson palette giveaway, go ahead and retweet this video.
I can't. So I've tried to keep it cool, calm, and collected. I don't want to make this a super long video, so I'm just going to say you heard my reaction. He's still pushing the stigma that is attached to borderline personality, and he might not even realize it, but I'm letting him know if he's watching, you are pushing the stigma that is borderline personality disorder. You know it has a horrible reputation, a horrible stigma attached to it, and I don't know if you willingly or unwillingly, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, but you just sat here and sent your subscribers who are coming to you to be educated and understand what some diagnoses, you said you're going to explain it. You did explain the symptoms very well, but you also sent them out with the picture of borderline personality disorder, looks like Trisha Paytas. They've never known a person who has borderline personality disorder before, but so now they left from your video with, oh, Trisha Paytas is borderline? That's what it looks like? No, not doing it. I don't want to deal with that because everyone knows Trisha Paytas does a whole bunch of hot mess stuff, and now that's your poster child for borderline personality. While we're still sitting here trying to fight the fact that it's sexist, that it's majority of women who have it because they just wanted to somehow deal with the way women deal with things, our hysteria, and now you sat here and attached it to one of the most problematic women on YouTube, and also victim blamed people who get manipulated because they should just know better and stand their ground all the time. You knew that all the time? No, you shared that you didn't. Do you think someone came up to you and said, yeah, dummy, you shouldn't have did that? No, they didn't. They said, so what do you think you need to do, you could do to fix this? Where do you think this comes from? Why do you feel like this happens to you? You got talked to, explained to, and tools to fix it. That's when personal responsibility comes in. Just because you're a certain age doesn't mean you can't get manipulated, and you should feel bad before it. So this whole video just made me mad. I'm going to cut it off now. Let me know down in the comments, you guys, how you feel. What are you thinking watching me react to this video? Do you feel like he was just trying to help, trying to explain, or do you feel like maybe he doesn't understand that, yeah, bruh, you really pushed some bad little things in this video by attaching it to Trisha Paytas? Let me know how you feel. I want to hear from you guys. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love to see you guys in my next video. Hit that bell so you're notified, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked my content, what I talked about today. I'd love to hear from you guys. I will see you guys in my next video. I'll talk to y'all then. Bye.